Happy Friday, everybody. Today we're going to be in 1 Peter chapter 1. Go ahead and start turning there. Today we're going to be talking about being set apart, being called out, whatever you'd like to say. 1 Peter chapter 1. As you're turning there, I want to ask you a question. Has there ever been an instance in your life where you have felt called out in front of people? And now I want you to think about, because I'm sure we can all think of situations where we felt called out. How did you feel in that moment? What were the thoughts, the emotions, the things that were running through your brain in that moment when you felt called out in front of people? You see, I think for many of us, we have this outlook on Christianity that is inaccurate, that doesn't live up to what's actually going to happen, because Jesus has set you apart in such a massive way, if you're a Christian, that you should feel uncomfortable at times. And many of us do not want that. Okay? See, God calls us to be separate from the world. And this is going to make us feel vulnerable at times. And it's a good thing. See, living a holy life requires us to walk away from our sin and the desires that we had before Christ. Holiness requires obedience even when it's not the norm to do. And holiness can sometimes put us on display. And that's on purpose, so that Christ would be displayed in you. It often means we're going against the societal norms or the things that culture is trying to tell us that are normal. And it means for us as Christians, we can't buy into those things that culture tries to sell us. Okay, so 1 Peter chapter 1, we're going to start in verse 13. We're going to read this scripture. Therefore, with your minds ready for action, be sober-minded and set your hope completely on the grace to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. As obedient children, do not be conformed to the desires of your former ignorance, but as the one who called you is holy, you also are to be holy in all your conduct. For it is written, "Be holy, because I am holy." If you appeal to the Father who judges impartially according to each one's work, you are to conduct yourselves in reverence during your time as living as strangers. For you know that you were redeemed from your empty way of life, inherited from your ancestors, not with perishable things like silver or gold, but with the precious blood of Christ, like that of an unblemished and spotless lamb. He was foreknown before the foundation of the world, but was revealed in these last times for you. Through him you believe in God, who raised him from the dead and gave him glory, so that your faith and hope are in God. We can't buy into what culture tells us is normal. God has clearly laid out what he expects of us as Christians. And a lot of the time, that's going to make you feel vulnerable. It's going to point you out in a room full of other people that want to just go along with what culture tells them to do. It's going to be hard. And I want to encourage you today, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's not worth it. In fact, the opposite. I've heard told to me so many times in my life that the things that are worth doing are almost always the hardest things to do. So don't be discouraged. God is on your side. Stand out for him. It's okay. Be vulnerable for him. That's what he calls you to do.